and welcome to the eagerly anticipated start of Season 4 from the Thursday Night GT3 Championship, brought to you by Race Department on Project Cars. After 3 champions in 3 seasons and the availability of all cars this year, it is lining up to be a very interesting season. And this season we have 29 races spanning 16 tracks with our usual race format, a feature race and a sprint race at each track. But this year we have 3 endurance races, double points at Silverstone, the Nordschleife, and our traditional season-ending race at Le Mans. This season opening weekend brings us to Brands Hatch, where the drivers will be taking on a 2.43 mile GP circuit containing 9 corners, 6 right and 3 left. The grid for the opening race of the season had a familiar look to it, with last season's champion Gazza taking pole position. He just pipped the 2 O&M drivers of Amari and Adam, who were closely followed by Ben. Dom and Matt filled out the 3rd row, followed by Andrew, Benji, Lance and Jeremy. Liam would be disappointed with 11th, and the grid was brought up by Frank and Ramsey. The lights went out for the opening race of the season and everyone got away cleanly. Dom made the best start of the front runners as he split the 2 O&M drivers into the first corner. But it was Gazza at the front who held the lead. As we watch a replay of the start from behind Lance, who started in 9th, looks like a pretty even and a pretty clean start from everyone as we run down towards Paddock Hill Bend for the first time. There was only a slight bit of bump and grind as we run through Druids for the first time, but that can be fully expected being the first race of the season. It only took half a lap of the season for the Season 1 champion and the Season 2 champion to find each other on track, as they are both looking to add a 2nd title to their collection. After the opening exchanges, it was Gazza who led Amari, Dom, Adam, Benji, Matt, Andrew, Ben, Lance, Frank, Jeremy, Ramsey and Liam. However, Liam and Ramsey had a coming together at Hawthorns, forcing both drivers into the gravel. Their battle continued, and Liam got a better exit out of clearways, which allowed him to get the inside line down the start-finish straight. Ramsey was helpless as Liam made the move stick under braking into Paddock Hill Bend. Season 1 champion Andrew is back in his championship winning car this season, and he was looking to make his mark and show the grid that he means business. Boy did he do that with this breathtaking move around the outside of Matt at Hawthorns. Under the guidance of Season 2 champion Ben, Frank was looking to unleash his full potential, and he made a daring move on Lance through Druids, which he ultimately made stick. Judging from Lance's flashing the lights though, he wasn't best pleased himself. Benji and Matt are running in close proximity, however Benji got a touch of oversteer going through Paddock Hill Bend, forcing Matt to slam on the brakes and skim the gravel to avoid any contact. This opened the door for Ben to take full advantage, and the overtake was complete on the run up to Druids. Ben's next target was the Mercedes of Benji. and there was no hesitation as he dived down the inside of Surtees and outdragged Benji on the exit. Matt, fresh from being the victim of a move around the outside of Hawthorns, didn't want to be outdone and duly pulled off an identical move on Benji. Just behind that battle, Jeremy was putting pressure on Lance, and Lance eventually made a small mistake on the exit of Clearways, allowing Jeremy to drive past on the main straight. However, the very next lap, at the same corner, Lance had re-passed Jeremy down the inside. Liam was trying to recover from a bad start and was maybe pushing a little bit too hard as he outbraked himself at Druids while he was trying to pass Jeremy. To the pit stops, and Frank lost a lot of time as he came out of the pits behind the rough of Jeremy, even though before the pit stops he was in front of him on track. Towards the front, Dom came out of the pits only to find a rejoining M3 of Amari as he had a big off at turn 1. As you can see from the replay, Amari looked pretty clean into the braking zone, but suddenly speared off into the gravel and into the wall, causing damage to the front of the M3. Adam made an uncharacteristic mistake at Druids as his M3 switched ends, allowing Dom into second and Amari into third. Half a lap later though, and Adam repassed his wounded teammate Amari for third. Team orders or not, Andrew was breathing down the necks of both, and he was in the perfect position to pounce on any mistake. And the mistake there was from Amari at Dingledale, allowing Andrew to slip through into 4th place. Shortly after, Ben caught the back of Amari, but yet again Amari was forced into a mistake at Dingledale, allowing Ben to cruise past for 5th position, dropping Amari back to 6th. But last season's champion Gazza put his mark on season 4 by driving faultlessly to take the checkered flag in the opening race of the season. Dom and Adam rounded out the podium, with Andrew and Ben completing the top 5, and they were the drivers that started at the back of the grid for the sprint race. Amari, Matt, Benji, Jeremy and Frank rounded out the points, and Lance, Liam and Ramsey completed the finishers. To the point standings for the first time this season, and Gareth on top where he finished last season with 26 points, 25 points for the victory and 1 more point for pole position. Dominic in second on the track, and an extra point for fastest lap. Adam was in third, rounding out the podium, and then it was as you were on the grid: Andrew, Ben, Amari, Matt, Benjamin, Jeremy, Frank, Lance, Liam and Ramsey. The constructors' standings looks interesting, very close, although it is only after race 1. Spamfritters Racing leading O&M Racing, Team America in third, followed by Infinite Racing, Fast Orange, Wacky Racing and Dual Racing yet to get off the mark. So the season started in style, with Gazza winning his first race of the season, picking up from where he left off last year. Hope you enjoyed it, guys, and remember to join us for the sprint race round 2 at Brands Hatch.